I wasn't thinking about being present, but I caught myself realizing I'm fully in this moment. There's no distraction. There's nothing else I'm thinking about. I'm just absorbing this moment, and I'm fully present. Well, welcome to today's episode of The Pursuit. As you can see, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're not watching on YouTube, take a moment, head on over there, give us a subscribe. We're on the mission to 100 subscribers because that way we can get a custom URL. Sounds silly, but if I were to try to tell you what the URL is right now, I couldn't do it. It's a bunch of random letters and numbers, but I would love to be able to tell you, keep pursuing or whatever it might be is it over on YouTube. So take a moment, go over there, subscribe. And I'll also ask you for some reviews and likes on the podcast. Unfortunately, we live in a world of algorithms. Maybe it's a matrix of some sorts, but that is what gets shows moving around on the rankings so more people can find it. While I believe that those will find this podcast when they're supposed to, if we can help them find it a little bit sooner, plant those seeds around, let it be easier for them to find, that's not necessarily a bad thing. So I will do those plugs at the beginning of the episode instead of the end. So those of you that don't make it to the end heard it and can be reminded to go there. But some things I wanted to talk about real quick before we get to the episode. Today's episode is about understanding your goals and why they are what they are and how do they align with what your pursuit is, because sometimes our goals don't necessarily align with where we want to go or they conflict with it. So we'll hit on that. But I wanted to share just something. If you are on Twitter and you're not following my personal account, that's at Justin Castelli, JUS10 Castelli. I've been doing a daily tweet that started off just kind of as fun, as now it's kind of got some legs to it, where I am seeing those out there that are living the pursuit, different qualities, different things they're focusing on. It's been a lot of fun. And today I talked about being present. To those out there that are making a conscious effort of being present and being in the moment, I see you, and like the salute emoji. And I was just thinking about that this week. I really had a breakthrough when it comes to being present. And it's something I've been working on for a while, and the tweet thread kind of goes through it. But being present is really hard, like to fully be present. Not just like, okay, I'm here, I'm not distracted, but to be there in the moment and not be distracted by your thoughts. Sometimes I'm singing a song in my head or thinking about something else, but I've been practicing being present. So I wanted to give you a few things I've been doing if you run on Twitter to see that. So to practice on being present, some of the things I've been doing is focusing on my breathing, whether that is just saying, breathe in, breathe out. And in that moment of thinking, breathe in, breathe out, the only thing I'm thinking about is my breath at that moment, which puts me in that moment. Like that moment of breath is right there. And when you're saying breathe in, breathe out, that's all you're focusing on. Or counting, if you're doing like 4 seconds in, 2 seconds hold, 4 seconds out, that process of counting your breath cuts out all the other distractions and makes you be present in that moment. So that type of presence, I don't think you get to appreciate the moment as much, but you're not distracted. And for that moment, your head is quiet. So that's one of the things I've been doing. The other thing is just recognizing if I'm not present. I read, it may have been in Eckhart Tolle or one of the books, I read that if you say I'm not present, that makes you present at that moment, because you've realized that at that moment of recognition, you weren't present, you weren't there, you were distracted. And by saying that, it brought your presence there. Or to try to make a conscious effort to be present, to say, I am present in this moment. And again, by saying that, it's cutting out all the distractions and making me be in this moment. Meditation's been a big thing. I had an awesome meditation yesterday. I was telling Ange, my wife, that I need to meditate in the sun more. There was something about the sunlight beating down on me. I'm going to do it after I record this and get it out. That just like blocked everything out. I just felt like for that moment, there was a connection between me and the sun. Like the sun was pulling all the distracted thoughts away to allow me just to be in that moment. And it was really cool. So that's another thing, is just continuing to practice my meditation and being able to bring awareness to myself. And when thoughts come in, be able to shut them out. So that's another thing. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. There might be some, and go check the thread for all of them. But those are the ones that come up the most. Other than like, not having the phone with you all the time, not being on the phone. Those are the obvious distractions that take you away from being present. And that's easy to do. You just put the phone down, leave it away. But I have been making it more of a conscious effort also not to be listening or reading as much. Like I'll usually try to read while I'm cooking dinner or listen to a podcast. And lately in the mornings, I'll get up and get Leo ready. I'll make his breakfast and he's upstairs still getting ready. And I'll just have nothing going on. I'll just be getting his breakfast ready or being downstairs waiting for him to come down with nothing and just having that time to myself. And through this, I've noticed that I feel like periods of time are kind of like slowing down. I'm still busy, RLS Wealth, creating content here, busy with the boys, but I feel like over the last couple weeks, my time has slowed down, which has been really cool, which brings me to the point of all of this being present. And then we'll get to your goals because I don't have a whole lot to stay there. But I think this presence concept is really important because, at the end of the day, the pursuit is about finding more happiness. And if we're doing too much, too busy, distracted, like that takes away from it as well. And just being present and being in the moment. And being present in the moment also can help you figure out your pursuit as well. So this week, I can remember specific events, two of which were giving Silas a bath. One was laying in bed with Leo. Another one was in the car with Roman, where I wasn't thinking about being present, but I caught myself realizing I'm fully in this moment. There's no distraction. There's nothing else I'm thinking about. I'm just absorbing this moment, and I'm fully present. And the example I want to give is, thinking about the couple times with Silas in his bath, washing him and, cleaning him off and everything. And I just remember like him giggling like he always does. He's a happy kid. He's always laughing when he's not mad at his brothers. But the laughter that he had those two times sounded like nothing I'd ever heard from him before. And I can't explain what the difference was, but the laughter was just something amazing. It sounds silly, but if you've ever experienced it, you know what I'm talking about. And hopefully by talking about this, it gets you to the point where you get to experience and you can recognize it. But just like hearing him laugh the way he did is what made me catch, hey, like you're not thinking about anything else. You're just fully right here with Silas, one-on-one. Maybe it's a little weird, it's in his bath, but hey, he's only 4, so we still give him his bath. But it didn't matter. Like it was just really, really cool. And same thing within the car. Like the moment in the car with Roman that I recognized it was just like we both kind of like looked at each other and we were talking and just smiled. And there was something about that eye connection and something about that smile as the wind goes crazy that was just like, whoa, like I'm in this moment. So it's been really cool. It's been a lot of hard work, and not hard in the sense that it's like I'm exhausting myself, but it's just hard to silence your mind. And if you're like me, and I think if you're on your pursuit, you might be a little like me, that you've got ideas all the time. Like, and you're not even searching for them. Just something prompts a thought about, for me, writing a blog post or writing a blog or doing a podcast or a video or somebody I want to have as a guest or whatever it may be. Just right now, I'm a magnet for ideas, which is cool, but also like the mind never gets a break. So to be able to continue to practice and not give up, and this is really like months, but really the last couple months of really being conscious about finding time to be present. In my yoga classes, being present and treating it almost like an hour-long physical meditation has been really cool. So maybe today's episode should just be a bit about being present because I got so into it. But I thought it was really, there were really cool experiences I wanted to share with you and just put it on your radar of take time to work on being present. Just being there in the room doesn't always mean that you're present. Your thoughts may be somewhere else. You may be distracted. Work on finding ways to cut those things out and really control your mind. And when it happens without you trying, it's really, really cool. So let's move to goals. Had an awesome conversation with a really good friend of mine this week, and we were just talking about his life goals, and he's really, really thinking about them and almost thinking about them too much to the point where I can tell it's impeding on his happiness. It's not making him unhappy. He's not depressed because of them, but I can tell he's thinking about it enough and just kind of stressed enough to where it's impeding his happiness. And I don't want to see him lose happiness and miss being present at times because he's thinking about this lofty goal that he has. And the conversation we had was kind of like, well, why is that your goal? And I mentioned this somewhere on social media this week, just about how asking why is a magic trick. Magic trick in the sense that it reveals the real answer, but it's never the first why. So, why do you have that goal? Well, okay, well, why? Well, why? And keep on asking why, because the first level why is usually going to be superficial or it might be somebody else's why. But then as you dig deeper, you uncover the real reason that you have that goal. And maybe the real reason you have that goal isn't worthy of it being a goal. It's to prove somebody that you're worthy, to prove to somebody that you could do it. And at the end of the day, doing that doesn't matter. That what would really be more important is something else. And it's very vague in the terms that I'm using, but I don't know what your goals are, and I don't know the whys. But usually there's a root reason for the goal that doesn't really move you in the direction of your pursuit. So my thought for you and my challenge for you as you think about your goals and your pursuit, one, does your pursuit lead you to your goals? Or is the goal that you have the right one for your pursuit? So check those and make sure those are right. But then really understand the reason behind the goal. And one, it makes sure you're on the right path for it, but also it makes sure that you're doing the right things and the right priorities. If you know the why behind your goal and is really meaningful, then maybe it helps you eliminate some of the distractions you have that are taking you away. There's a book called Essentialism that my friend Ashby Daniels put me on to, and I read it and I really enjoyed it. And I don't think I'll ever be an essentialist to where I only go down to one thing, but I get where I am today. I would be more likely than ever to get closer to that essentialism, which essentialism basically says, if it's not moving me towards my goal, I'm not doing it. Basically, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. You give me an opportunity. If it's not hell yes because it moves me, it excites me, it's on a part of my passion, then I'm not going to do it because I'm only going to do things that move me towards my goal. It keeps me in line with my passion. The reason I don't think I can ever get there is I don't know. Like, I want to experiment. So this opportunity may be something that leads me on my passion. I didn't know it if I didn't do it. So I got to try it. But I'm much more dialed in. So anyways, understanding your why, and if it's really that important, if your why is, life-changing for you and your family, life-changing for someone else, generational changing, then that may narrow your focus so you can be more dialed in for your pursuit and have a better idea of where you're going. So as I kind of bring this shorter episode to the end, I just want to encourage you to check your goals. Why are they your goals? How do they move you towards your pursuit? If they don't, should it be a goal? And what would be the goals that are more in line with what it is that you want to accomplish? There's no right or wrong answer. It's just you've got to know, because that is going to help you in your pursuit. And also, if your goal is creating stress and your goal is making you unhappy, it's probably the wrong goal. I don't believe that your goals should be creating stress. It doesn't mean that you don't have to work hard to get there and that there's obstacles along the way and there might be minor stresses, but if the thought of it itself and the thought of figuring it out itself is bringing you stress, then maybe it's not the right goal, or it's a goal for the wrong reasons, and that tells you what you need to know about it. I'm going to talk outside on the other side of my mouth right now, though, but just because you feel that stress around that goal doesn't mean that it's wrong. And that's the beauty, but also the tough thing about pursuit is that there is no right answer. The world doesn't work in absolutes. There's not the right way. It's only what's right for you. And sometimes that stress is your body telling you this is not right. You need to go in another direction and you need to listen to it. And sometimes that stress is saying you're on the right path. You just got to get through this obstacle. And only you are going to know which one that stress is telling you, or what that stress is telling you. And again, going back to your why, understanding more and how this aligns with your pursuit is going to help you be able to read those signals from your body. So take the time to really think about it. Make sure your goals are right. Maybe the stress means you pivot. Maybe the stress means you go forward. But don't stress for long. We've only got so much time in this life. And you have the ability to go make the life that you want. That's what we're trying to figure out along the way. So with that, I will thank you for tuning in. Also wanted to promote the Pursuit hoodie. This is a prototype, but it's hoodie season soon. I'm going to be working this weekend on finalizing the fall drop of the gear. I'm excited. I did one drop last year. This year I think it's going to be even better. I'm going to do a couple hoodies. I've got a t-shirt design. I can't wait to get back and see how it looks. A couple hats. Keep it small runs, and try to get this brand going as well as a part of Pursuit, because it's a passion of mine. Like, having a small little brand is cool. Doesn't have to replace Nike, but I want it to be something that where those of you that are on your pursuit and are proud to be on your pursuit and making progress want to rock it because of what it means. That the 4 little letters to you mean something special, and those eventually on the outside will see it, will be jealous of you because they know that, hey, if that person's wearing that sweatshirt, that hoodie, that hat, They're living their best life. They're doing things on their terms, and I wish I could do that. Or the circle, same thing. Eventually, these logos are going to mean that, and that's what I want to strive for. But we got to start somewhere, right? Can't go straight to that right away. Got to start small. Got to sell 10 or 15 sweatshirts first, and then move from there to go to 20, and then go to 50, and keep going and going. So more things will be coming. Check that out. I'll obviously let you know when the drop is there, but we're going to do small runs. So if you want anything, you're going to have to jump pretty quickly to make sure you get your size. But yeah, so anyways, thanks for tuning in as always. Thanks for joining me on my pursuit. It's an honor, and I mean that. It's an honor to be a part of yours, and let's keep pursuing.